Hello everyone! As you might have read in the thumbnail, today I have a very special announcement to make. The Ultimate Bendy mod version 2.0 is currently being developed. In this video I would like to show you a glimpse of what will come with it. If you're wondering why it's not version 1.8, well, it's because this version is such a big overhaul that I figure that it's better for me to name it version 2.0. First things first, the mod menu is completely gone in this version, but don't worry, because there is now a command console, which you can use to do everything that you could in the menu and so much more. For starters, you can easily spawn different types of enemies using this command console, even faster than you could. So, to start, how about we spawn some NPC? Now, this version of the mod has a bit more variations of NPCs that you can spawn, such as the lost one, which has a weapon. Which, as you can see, spawns this lost one, which has a pipe. They can spawn with different random objects, like the ones in Chapter 5. This was initially left out as it's just a variation of the regular lost one and we didn't have space in the menu, but now with the console we can easily fit everything in. Another cool thing that you can do with this mod is that you can spawn multiple instances of the same NPC. So if I go spawn searcher times 3, it will now spawn 3 searchers, as you can see. Oops, I seem to have lost my weapon, but no problem, I can actually spawn weapons using the command as well. I just need to be quick about it. So go ahead and spawn myself a weapon. There we go. They are dead, so now we can continue showing off the cool new features of the version 2.0. So, not only can you spawn 2 instances or more of the same kind, you can actually input multiple commands at the same time. So if I wanted to get the whole butcher gang together, I could do spawn piper, spawn striker, and spawn fisher at the same time. And now, as you can see, all 3 of them have spawned, and now I have to kill them. So there you go for the NPC parts. You might notice that the menu is gone, but the hotkeys are still here, and there's actually a system that you can use to set whatever you want to happen if you press a key that you want. So for example, if I would want to make some NPC spawn when I press a button, for example, if I wanted to spawn a searcher, I could do set hotkey, put the command to spawn the searcher in parentheses, which is spawn searcher. And now once we have the command in the quotation marks, we will now press the left control button as it activates a special feature which allows you to input the key code of the key that you want it to be bound to. So I can do just that now. And for example, I want it to be the key that is called backquote, which some don't have. So if I press it now, as you can see, its code, which is 96, will appear. And now, if I run this command, you will see that it says that it set it to execute the command that I want. So now, every time that I press the backquote key, the searcher will spawn in front of me. So yeah, you can use that to change the key bindings or to add key bindings to things that didn't have these bindings before. or they could have had them in the very early stages of the mod, such as the Bendy hotkey mod, which came almost 2 years ago, now that I think about it. Of course, the changes in the hotkeys are also not everything that this update will have. One cool thing about the console is that you can input exact values into it. So for example, in the past we used to make the player bigger or smaller, but now you can actually set the player's scale yourself with exact numbers. So if I do scale player 1.1, as you can see I get bigger. And if I do scale player 0.5, I get half my weight. And if I go scale player 1, I return to my regular height, which is pretty cool. And that allows you to do a lot of interesting stuff which involves precise numbers to be inputted. And one more thing that is cool about the console is that as you can input numbers, you can also have an unlimited amount of teleport points. So for example, if I run the set point command, it will then tell me that it set a teleport point. Now you can do this an unlimited amount of times and it will always work. So for example now, if I go ahead and go far away, you can then input teleport player point 1 and it will get you back there. And this will work for any amount of teleport points that you can need. Of course, the teleport points and all the other stuff does not only concern the player, it also concerns the target, what you're looking at, which also includes the NPCs. But here's the cool part. You don't have to target something to run commands on it anymore. So for example, if I want to spawn myself an ally, Tom, I can spawn him in. Here he is. And now, for example, if I want to be able to teleport him to me no matter where I go, I first have to nickname him so I can reference him wherever I am without looking at him. So in order to do that, we run the nickname target command, and you can call him whatever you want. It has to be in one word, but you can make it as long as you want. So we can do Tom, and now it will tell you that it nicknamed the target Tom. So now that we have this, we can teleport Tom to us wherever we are. So for example, we're in this room which he normally doesn't have access to. You can see he's trying to get in, but he can't. So now, if I run the teleport Tom player command, he is now magically where I am, even though I didn't have to target him. This is really cool, and it adds a lot of new layers to the commands that were used to be able to be summoned only if you were to target something. Now you can summon it whenever you want, as long as it's registered with a nickname in the mods database. Another cool thing is that there are now much more target commands. If you have played FC Sandbox, that you know that there are a variety of commands there which can edit the objects in many different ways, such as changing the color of the materials, the texture, and other properties of an object's materials. Well, these features are now getting ported into the Ultimate Bendy mod as well. So if you go ahead, open the console, and do the color command, you can write color target all, and then enter a color based on an RGB code. You can see that the object now changes color. And what's even more cool is that you can actually give it transparency. So if you add something at the end which signifies how transparent it is, you can then make it look like a ghost. So if I do color target all 20, 2005. If I add a 0.5 here, you can see that it's now a ghost Bendy cutout, but it's still there, and I can still cut it. And of course the pieces, they aren't transparent. Reminds me of that one ghost Bendy video that RTS has made. Well, now we can make it a reality again with this mod. So, if you may recall, in the Ultimate Bendy mod, there was an option to spawn betas, but the only one that you could spawn was beta Bendy. Well, now that is going to change. You may also remember the 3 videos that I made before, which had Danganronpa characters in this game. Well, if you don't know yet, this mod will now have a reskin feature, which basically allows you to download packs of models that will replace the NPCs in the game, and you can either select them so that they are every time you spawn this type of NPC or see it in a cutscene, or you can also spawn it in manually with a command even though it's not active. So for example, if I do spawn reskinned Boris, reskins beta Boris, you guessed it, the beta Boris is now spawnable. This guy used to be in the earliest build of Chapter 2, so now he's back in the very different Chapter 2 that has been introduced with Chapter 4. Now, if you saw the command, you can see that in there I inputted the name of the asset bundle and the assets inside of it. This is because it is possible for a lot of different creators to make their own models and stuff for this mod. Not only will the custom reskins be a thing, but also custom weapon reskins as well, and custom playable characters, and on top of that, custom spawnable objects as well. So hopefully that gets you hyped up, but I have still saved the best part for last. Now, there is one final feature of this update that I would like to show you now. It's the ability to spawn a NPC that wasn't available before. One that all of us have been waiting for, even me, since the day that this mod has been created. As you can see, we now have a fully functional Brute Boris. He is currently locked in his first phase, because otherwise it would have been broken and you can't damage him, but he is fully functional and he can hit you and charge at you. As you can see, I just took off from him and now he's trying to charge at me. Well, he got stuck, but he can do it and he will damage you. So you should be careful around the guy. So, thank you everybody for watching this video. Of course, this is but a glimpse of what's to come in the Ultimate Bendy mod version 2.0, and there are much more different small additions to the mod, which you will see at some point later, but these are the main points. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and stay tuned for more related to this mod.